Hello, welcome back to Andrea Fontana Beauty. I'm Andrea. I'm a professional makeup artist specializing in bridal and special event makeup, but I love to share how I create different looks here on YouTube. So today we're just gonna be doing our makeup. I wanted something bronzy. I have a little more color because it's early June, so it's getting a little warmer here in the Midwest, and I wanted to do a fun bronzy eye, which is usually my go-to in the summer. The two palettes I have are both drugstore. One I've never used, the other one I've used once before in a video. So our base palette that we're going to be working with is the LA Girl VIP Desert Dream eyeshadow palette. It's really beautiful, warmer, pinkier, purple gold types of tones. Definitely reminds me of the desert. Oh my gosh, I didn't even do this on purpose, but I realized that they both have the word desert in their names. This is the Flower Beauty Desert Lights palette, which is like a topper situation, and these are amazing. I've swatched them a million times, but I've never actually used them. So we're gonna use those two today and some different products here, and we are going to create a fun look. So if that sounds good, just keep watching. We're gonna start with the eyes today. So as usual, we'll start with my brows. It's, like I said, early June, and I haven't done my brows since the week of my wedding, which was late April. So we're a bit shaggy at this point, but I don't really mind. So for now, we'll just outline, give them a little bit more of a shape, and call it good. Now I'm gonna prime my eyes with my concealer, which I don't normally do, but it's what's sitting in front of me and I don't feel like grabbing something else. So concealers from L'Oreal. As usual, every single product will be linked down below. You have to make sure when you use a concealer that you set it, otherwise it will crease. So now that that's blended in, I'm going to use this nude shade right here in this palette, and I'm just going to buff that from lash line to brow bone so that the concealer does not go anywhere. Now I'm going to take a blending brush. How do I want to base this look? What do I want to do? I'm obsessed with this palette. If you look at it, the really cool thing is that like this row is purpley, this row is more pink, like berry, this row is a little bit more bronze, and then this one's more yellow gold. So it's like the perfect little mixture here. I think we're gonna start with this color right here, this peachy matte tone, and we're gonna buff that into the crease all the way inside outside. Buff it and then blend it up. So that we're putting most of the color right through the crease and then gently fading it out. Next, I'm gonna go in with this shade up here, which is matte as well, but just more intense and a little more, it's like a pretty medium rusty brown color, and I'm going to go right over that same spot and deepen that crease. Just like that. Now I like to go back in with the brush that I originally started. Make sure everything's staying nice and blended. Now, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to do a halo eye, and in the center of my lid do one of those super shimmery toppers from the Desert Lights palette. So I'm going to take a small pencil brush. I'm going to take the darkest brown from this palette, which is this one right here, and I'm going to put that in my outer and inner corners. I'm so impressed with how pigmented these shades are, but also how easy they are to blend. So we're just popping that right on the outside there, and then doing the same thing in this inner corner right in there. you're just trying to get the color in the right spot. You're not necessarily trying to blend it perfectly. You just want to get the color where you want the color. So in that outer corner on the lid and also in that inner corner. Now you can go back in with that same blending brush and just make sure those edges, I have no extra product, just the color from what I had originally put in the crease, and or just blending that out. So now that's a little softer. If you feel like you went a little too hard, the outer darker colors, you can go back in and softly blend this crease again. Again, always going back. This angled blending brush to just make sure things are nice and smooth. And then now we're going to decide what lid color we want. Which color should we go with? I mean, look at these. The color payoff on these is insane. They almost feel wet. They're so smooth. I think I want to do this bronzy shade right here. This top one and right in the center. I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to gently take a little bit of that bronzy color. I mean, look at that. And just place it right in the center of the lid. Like that. It's so pretty. I can't believe they make another one called Jungle Lights that I also have that is fantastic. But okay, so now very gently I'm going to take that blending brush and I'm just going to softly blend around. This will like actually pick up and move glitter around, which we don't necessarily want. So I would say it's best to kind of like just be super gentle with it. But I am going to go back in with a little bit more of that dark shade in my blending brush. Just to kind of blend into, create a little more contrast. Just like that. Lastly, go back in crease color. You can even go back in with that original nude shade and just buff it towards the top so that everything looks really blended and seamless. And that is how you create a multi-dimensional, super beautiful eye super quickly. Like, that was so fast. It's all just about knowing what to place and where to place. So we only used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyeshadow colors, which I know might seem like a lot for those of you who are new to makeup, but really, if you know where to place it, just keep practicing and you'll get it. I really love how this turned out. These might be like my go-to summer palettes because they're bronzy, they're shimmery, there's warmth, like just what I crave in the summer. Okay, so whenever you're working with glitter, it's always best to do, or even just super shimmery eyeshadows, it's best to do your eyes first so that you can make sure that you can remove any fallout before you do your foundation. Otherwise, you'll end up with a glittery face. So I'm just taking some makeup remover on a cotton pad. Next, we are going to use, I'm feeling a little dry today, so we're going to start with the Too Faced Hangover RX Nourishing Primer. So I love using this. This is the only product I will buy from Too Faced. I don't normally shop from Too Faced, but I do like this primer and I like using it on clients because it works. If you have a dupe for it or you've tried something similar, please let me know because it removes redness. Like, it just does so much for my clients and I love that. We're using a favorite from last summer, which is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum Foundation. I'm in the shade 23 Light Pale. What a beautiful name. The dropper on this is terrible. I'm just gonna warn you. So, I mean, I'm glad there's a dropper. I'm gonna actually mix in a little bit of my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Lotion in the shade Light, which has a slight pink tone to it. And I'm just mixing that with my Beauty Blender. And we're gonna apply that to the whole face. I want the whole skin to be very light and fresh and dewy. Literally the lightest layer of this. Everywhere. I've got a monster friend right here. She's really kind and sweet. Oh, you see that dewy glow? Gotta love some True Match Lumi Glotion. I mean, some of that is the foundation, but I just mix that into everything. Oh, I always forget how flimsy the doe foot is on this concealer. It really scares me that it feels like it's broken, but then I remember that it's just weird. So this is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Concealer Corrector. No, just Radiant Concealer. I have the shade 210 Nude Beige. And it's a pretty good, I don't want to say it's quite a dupe for the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I know that that's kind of like what they're after. I don't think it blends as nicely, but it's definitely radiant and it's definitely creamy. I just don't think it has as much coverage as the NARS one. The NARS one is an impeccable amount of coverage for how light it is. Okay, so there's that. I mean, still good. Just I wouldn't quite call it a dupe for that, which is what I think they were going for. Next, we're going to we're gonna go back to one of my favorites from last summer. I pulled them back out because I love them for summer. These are the Pixi On The Glow Blush Tinted Moisture Sticks. They work on your lips, on your cheek. This is the shade Juicy, which I don't know if you can tell has a pretty big dent in it, and I like to use a brush with it like this. And yes, I'm going in under my powders to give me a good natural flush under the rest of my makeup. So it's gonna feel pretty bright, but we're gonna highlight and powder and bronze and stuff. So it's not gonna be quite as intense, but for now, we're just putting that underneath. It just makes the skin look so healthy. Okay. So now we're actually going to set, this is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in Fair Light 10. I used this in my last video, still loving it. So I'm gonna go back in with my Beauty Blender just to make sure that everything I concealed is still crease free. And then just press that in. If you feel like your blush is always, like it's hard to blend the edges out, especially when using cream products, I can't recommend this technique enough of putting it on underneath before your powder, because inevitably you'll kind of go up to the edge of where that cream powder is and it'll help blend it out. So that's good. Love this stuff. Okay, we're gonna use the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in Forever Sun Kissed. It's coming up a bit washed out. My light is again washing me out today, but it's so dark outside, so I'm relying heavily on it's a rainy day. Relying heavily on my light today. So on an angled fluffy brush, we're gonna bronze up the face. That looks great. Again, going back in. Do you see how that blush has become a lot more toned down? It's probably reading very bright right now on camera. I guess maybe not on there. You can see it's a little bit more of a glowy, healthy look. And the finishing part of these cheeks is going to be my MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Superb, which is this beautiful rose gold shade. It is technically a highlighter, but it's a little too dark for me. So I actually like to use it as a blush topper because it's like a true rose gold. And I love how it looks in the summer when you've got a little bit of more of a bronzy look. So I'm putting it on as a highlight and blush topper duo so that we really, look at those cheeks, look beautiful. That is the finished skin. I'm going to spray my face. This is the Morphe Original Continuous Setting Spray. So not any of the other. They have like a matte one and maybe a luminous one. But I prefer just the original. It smells the best. And I don't like the mattifying one because it has like a little bit of powder in it that it sprays to mattify you. And it gets clogged really easily, the sprayer, and then you get like spits of like white powder dots on the face. Not my fave. We're gonna let that dry. We're going to put on mascara, and then I'll see you back here for the finished look. All right, I'm gonna come in a little closer so you can see the finished look. I love it. I think it's really beautiful. And I'm totally not putting anything on my lips because I don't feel like it. I feel like I say that in every video. But this is a really healthy, warm, bronzy, with a little extra dimension, fun look for summer. If you try it out, let me know. And once again, I'm Andrea Fontana. Thanks for watching Andrea Fontana Beauty. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to share it with a friend who you think would enjoy it as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video, and like it before you click out. So I'll see you in my next one. Have a great day. Bye.